Have you ever found yourself watching a cartoon and just laughing so hard you're practically in tears? Ever wonder what it is about certain animated scenes that just works every single time? Well, you are in the right place. Today, we are pulling back the curtain to uncover the hidden science and, yes, the secret formula behind why animation is so darn funny. Remember this scene? The Department of Mammal Vehicles in Zootopia, staffed entirely by sloths. Judy Hopps is in a total panic, she's in a rush, and Flash the Sloth, well, he takes what feels like a decade just to stamp a single form. It's hilarious because it's so painfully relatable. We've all felt that, right? So what is it that makes this scene so brilliant? Is it just some random, silly idea someone had? Turns out, no, it's not random at all. Animated comedy is a serious craft. It's got rules, it's got principles, and it has a blueprint that takes an idea from a script and turns it into pure visual laughter. And guess what? We're about to deconstruct that exact blueprint. So here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the science of funny, then look at the writer's blueprint for a joke. After that, we dive into the animator's toolkit, the 6 essential comedy ingredients. We'll put it all together by dissecting a classic scene, and by the end of this, I promise, you are going to see your favorite cartoons in a completely new light. Okay, first up, the science of funny. The big idea here is that animated comedy isn't some kind of magic that just happens. No way. It's a deliberate, really thoughtful process. It's all about translating a rock-solid written idea into a visual medium, where every single choice is designed to get a laugh. So, long before anyone even starts drawing, you need a story. And a funny story isn't just a bunch of gags strung together. It needs a solid structure, a strong foundation to hang all those jokes on. And a lot of the time, that foundation comes from this classic 5-part structure made famous by the legendary screenwriting guru, Robert McKee. You've got the inciting incident that kicks everything off, then the progressive complications, all the things that go wrong. You have the crisis, where the hero has to make a huge choice, then the big climax, and finally the resolution. This is the skeleton for pretty much every great story, and that includes comedies. And here is a mind-blowing insight. Great comedy is built on the exact same principles as great drama. Screenwriter Greg DePaul breaks it down into these 4 rules. You need conflict. A character wants something, but stuff keeps getting in their way. You need tension. We, the audience, have to wonder what's going to happen next. You need escalation, where things just get crazier and crazier. And you need stakes. The character has to have something to lose. Without this stuff, the jokes just don't land. Okay, so we've got the writer's blueprint. Now let's get to the really fun part, the animator's toolkit. We're going to break down the 6 essential ingredients that animators use to turn a script into visual comedy gold. First up, and you could argue it's the most important ingredient of all, is the characters. See, the comedy doesn't just happen to them, it comes from them. It's in their design, their personality, and crucially, how they react to things. The philosopher Henri Bergson absolutely nailed it with this quote. The joke isn't just that something goes wrong. The real laugh, the real comedy, is in the character's reaction. When their perfect little world suddenly gets thrown into chaos. How they deal with that disruption, that's the joke. And usually those reactions fall into 3 hilarious types. First, you have the child, where a grown-up character has a total, dramatic, kid-like meltdown. Think of Kronk from Emperor's New Groove sobbing over his burnt spinach puffs. Then you've got the machine, a character who shows almost no reaction to complete chaos, like the penguins calmly flying a crashing plane in Madagascar. And finally, the animal. This is your basic bodily function humor, and, well, Shrek is pretty much the poster child for this. And these 2 images just illustrate it perfectly. On the left, you have that classic machine reaction from the penguins, deadpan, calm, while their plane is literally on fire. Total absurdity. And on the right, Shrek's very animal use for a storybook page. They are 2 completely different characters with 2 completely different reactions, but both get huge laughs. Okay, our next ingredient is the world itself, the setting and the props. A joke needs a stage to play out on, right? And the objects on that stage are just begging to be used for comedy. It's not just who is funny, but where they are and what they have to play with. A perfect example of this is using something totally familiar in a brand new, completely surprising way. In Kung Fu Panda, Po is in the middle of this epic fight. And what does he do? He weaponizes a noodle. A noodle! It's so unexpected, it's totally true to who he is, and it turns a simple prop into the punchline. And now for an absolute classic, slapstick. This is all about physical comedy.
We're talking about those perfectly timed visual jokes that have been making people laugh since the days of silent movies. Now, the definition here is so important. It's about characters getting seemingly hurt. In the world of animation, the laws of physics are, let's just say, flexible. And nobody really gets hurt. That is the secret sauce. It gives all of us permission to laugh at things that would be absolutely horrifying in real life.
This scene from Tangled is a masterclass in animated slapstick. Rapunzel is trying to hide an unconscious Flynn Rider, and she slams the wardrobe door right on his fingers. In reality, his hand would be pulverized. But here, it's just a hilarious cartoony obstacle, and he's totally fine a few seconds later. It's all about exaggerated pain with zero real consequences.
Next up on the list, camera work. Now, you can have the best joke, the best characters, but if you don't film it the right way, the whole gag can just fall flat. How we, the audience, see the joke is just as important as the joke itself.
Take this kitchen scene from Emperor's New Groove. Yzma and Kuzco keep narrowly missing each other as they go through this door. The camera just stays put in one single wide shot. Why? Because we need to see everything at once. We need to see both characters, the door, and Kronk's totally confused reaction in the middle of it all. If they used a close-up, the entire joke would be ruined.
And finally, we have the ingredients that add that perfect polish: timing and audio. Timing is the joke's heartbeat. The setup, that little pause, and then the punchline. Just think about the painfully slow pace of Flash the Sloth. And audio? Well, that's the soundtrack to the laugh. Everything from the boink of a falling anvil to the perfect voice actor performance that sells the emotion.
Okay, so we've got our blueprint and our 6 key ingredients. Now, let's become comedy surgeons for a minute and dissect a classic scene to see how all these pieces work together in perfect harmony.
We're going right back to Emperor's New Groove, and this time, it's the diner scene. Yzma and Kuzco are sitting at tables literally right next to each other, but these gigantic menus are blocking their view. This scene is a perfect case study. So let's break it down. First, the characters. Both of them are so wrapped up in ordering their food that they are completely oblivious. This isn't painful slapstick, it's a visual mistake gag. The camera work is a steady, locked-off shot, which gives us this all-knowing view to see the irony that they can't. And the timing. Oh, the timing is everything. That rhythmic, almost dance-like raising and lowering of the menus builds the tension perfectly until that final, hilarious near miss. It is a symphony of comedy. And there you have it. The secret formula. Once you understand this blueprint and you know these ingredients, you kind of get a new superpower. And trust me, you can't unsee it. So, I'm going to leave you with this challenge. Think about the funniest animated scene you know. The one that gets you every single time. Now go back and watch it again, but this time look closer. Can you spot the ingredients? Can you see the character reactions, the use of props, the camera work, the timing? Go find out. You'll be amazed at the genius you uncover.